Not really. I just went live. What you got? Yeah, I just hit the live button. What is it?
That millimeters big enough for you want bigger. They make them bigger yet.
Bigger. Thank you. All right. It's almost that time. Let's see here. Hello. If you're out there, I hope you're watching me. I am just checking this out to figure out how to see the comments. All right. All right. We're live. Awesome. Okay. So, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And my name is Teresa Tucker. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator off and on for, gosh, 20 years or better. Here's a picture of me. So, yeah, I join and then I end up doing something else, and then I get interested in something else or whatever. So anyway, I've been doing this now for almost 3 years. Again. So anyway, again, I'm so glad that you're here today. So this is the class that we're going to do. We're going to make these Mother's Day cards, but you don't have to use them as Mother's Day cards. You can use whatever stamp you want. But I want to, before I get started on that, I just want to show you, here's the current annual catalog, and this is going to be it'll end on May the 2nd, and then we'll no longer be able to order anything out of here. We do have a lot of last chance items that are still available. The stamp sets are just flying off the shelf, so there's not as many of those. I did put on my blog the products that are still available, and you can find my blog at teresatucker.net. So head out there and see if there's anything there that you want. I would grab it if it's something you really would like to have. And here is the mini catalog. Now this mini catalog goes through June 30th, and it will it'll end then, and then we will get a July to December catalog, which will have all of the Christmas and fall stuff in it. So Stampin' Up! Has one annual catalog plus 2 mini catalogs, and then they do a Sale-a-bration twice a year along with the mini catalogs, the first 2 months of the mini catalog. This here is our current catalog, or not our current catalog. This one goes live on May 3rd, and I'm really excited about everything that I've seen in here. It's phenomenal. And the designer series paper, I think, is better than anything that I've ever seen from Stampin' Up! Before. I told the girls that I was really excited about this set, about these stamp sets, because the paper is so beautiful that it's easy to make a beautiful card. It really doesn't take a lot to create something that you're going to love and that others will love as well. So I look forward to sharing that with you. But if you're a demonstrator, then you've already got this catalog. If you're not a demonstrator and you would like to become a demonstrator. You don't have to do classes or hold events or anything like that. A lot of people join just to get the discount. So for $99, you get $125 worth of anything you want that's in the catalog. And since this catalog we're in the pre-order period right now, and so during this time, you can order everything you want out of this catalog, out of the new catalog. You can do that if you want. So just sign up under me, and you can, if you just go to teresatucker.net, you'll see a link to join. And if you have any questions about that, just let me know. And let's see here. Okay. Oh, for the month of April, this is the card set, or the card that you're going to receive if you place an order of any amount. I always thank my guests. I always thank my customers, because you are very important to my business, and it means a lot to me when you purchase Stampin' Up! Items from me. So that is the thank you card for that. I'll be using it for the rest of April. Now this Love and Happiness Bundle card class, I will demonstrate this on May the 16th. So I will probably do that at 6:30 like I am now. But I will decide probably at 6:30, but just depends on if I'm back on campus. I work at the University of Illinois, so if I'm back on campus by that date, then I may have to shift it to 7 o'clock, but we'll be here. Okay, so right now the All Together stamp set with the paper is all, I'm sorry, you get the stamp set and yes, the 6x6 designer series paper and the natural tone stamp and blends collection. And this is only available while supplies last, and it ends on May the 2nd. So, and I think they're carrying the stamp set over into the new annual catalog. So you might just want to wait a little bit. I mean, you can get it now. I'm not sure, you know, usually you get it at a little bit more of a discount when they advertise it like this, but I haven't looked at it, so I'm not really sure what the cost is going to be later, or if they're even going to have the paper, which generally, if they have a deadline like this, they don't offer the paper later. So so then we have Paper Pumpkin, and this next Paper Pumpkin is the in color. So everything that's in the kit will be made with the new in colors, and I can show you what those look like. So these are the 5 in colors. Aren't those gorgeous? These look really close sitting here, but when you get it ink to paper or ink to cardstock, they're not even close. So they're beautiful, and I look forward to sharing a lot of cards with you. I've got several stamp sets. I think I purchased every one that I could for the pre-order, so we'll be having a lot of fun playing with those over the next few months. So I think that's, nope, here we go. This Waves of Inspiration card class is what I am going to offer in May. So with a $25 order, you can get everything here for $25 or more, and it will include everything to make these 4 cards, plus the embellishments, everything here, ribbon and all that stuff. So it will, what was I thinking of? I don't remember. I don't know these days. Anyway, so yes, okay, what I was going to say, thank you. Everything comes cut, embossed, everything comes ready for you to assemble. You need your own designer series paper. However, this is cardstock. This is designer series paper, which I think has expired, but there's other paper that works with this just as well. So, but like I say, everything will come to you exactly like this, and then you can put it together at your house. So It's a lot of fun. They're beautiful cards. And I will be demonstrating those sometime in May. I don't have a date on that one yet. Okay. So, let's see here. So these are the cards we're going to make. And let's get started. Okay, so this is the stamp set, and this is out of the mini catalog. And set my instructions aside there. And let's see if there was anything else that I needed to tell you. I can't think of right now. It's been a while since I've done a live, so I feel a little rusty at this. So here's the card we're making right now. This is called a step card. It's a technique card, and it's pretty cool. It's really simple to make, so I don't think you'll have any problems making it. And there again, you can purchase this for a $25 order, or you can purchase the tutorial for these 3 cards. Do I have 3 here or 4? I think there's 3 cards. So you'll get the tutorial for that for $15 if that's what you want, if you want to just purchase it that way. And you'll have this tutorial right here. You'll have this video as well. So here's what the card looks like. And so what we're going to do here, let me put some of this stuff aside so I don't lose it. I tried to cut everything up in advance. And I made these cards quite a while back, so hopefully I can remember everything about them. Okay, so there's that, which we are going to need. Okay, so we're going to start out with mint macaron, and this is 4 1/4 by 9 inches. And I'm going to score it at 1 1/4. I have a scoring tool, but this cutter is much handier, so I'm going to go ahead and just use this. So at 1 1/4. So one thing too, when you're cutting cardstock, you want to make sure that your cutter is up here. Right now I'm scoring, I'm not cutting. So, and even when I score, I make sure that I'm pulling that towards me, because it's really easy for the paper to shift if you are trying to cut it or score it the other way. And then we'll score this at 2 1/2. And then another at 5 3/4. Okay, I think we're done with that. Sorry about that. All right, so we've got this scored, and then we're going to use designer series paper. This is the from the Daffodil Daydream designer series paper, which is I believe that this was in the Sale-a-bration catalog. I'm pretty sure it was, so I don't think it's available anymore. But if you order this from me, you will get the paper. And also, we're using Very Vanilla. And this Very Vanilla is, whoops, maybe I need a smaller, I thought it was, here we go. I see it. Okay. So this cardstock is 4 by 3. And this one here, this one's for the front of the card, and this one is 5 by 2. And the designer series paper is 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then this piece is 2.5, and I'll need to put this down here to measure it. This is our grid paper, which is wonderful because it's got the ruler down here at the bottom. It's got metric on the other side, and then there's a place over here for you to write your notes and stuff if you need to keep track of your sizes. So this is 8.5. Okay, and then these are the embellishments that we're going to use: the brushed brass butterflies and the champagne rhinestone basic jewels. So set that out of the way. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is this is going to be the bottom of the card, and I'm going to use my bone folder. It ensures that I have a real crisp edge. It helps the card stand up. And I'm going to burnish this one. And this one's going to go down like this. So as you can see here, this card is going to fit perfectly. Well, width-wise, it's going to fit perfectly. We got some height to add to it, but it will fit in a standard Stampin' Up! Invitation envelope. That's our cards are 4.5. I'm sorry, they are 4.25 by 5.5. Yes. I write my when I look at my numbers, my measurements up there, I'm like, okay, is that the actual measurements, or do I need to deduct some? Okay, so we're gonna use this mint macaron, and we're gonna go ahead and decorate it by adding, actually I need to score this. This scores at 5.5. Important. All right. So now we're going to add this designer series paper. We're going to center it on this section down here at the bottom on this side of the score line. I prefer to use the multi-purpose liquid glue, and the reason why is because it allows me a few moments to just move the paper around if I don't have it on there exactly straight, and I like that, having that option to do that. So I also use the Stampin' Seal and the Stampin' Seal Plus, but not quite as often as I do the glue. Okay, so we're going to put this down here, center it. Now I want to encourage you to like and share my my video. If you like and share my video, you'll be put in a drawing to win the cards that we're making this evening. All right. This is going to go in here, but we're going to wait. And that's going to go on the inside of the card. So for this part, we're going to add this designer series paper down here at the bottom. And again, we're going to center it on that panel. Just like this. Now, if you are using glue, one thing I just want to caution you on is that when after you put this down, if you move it, and it's real easy to do, I've moved it many times, not even realized I'd moved it. It's real easy to move, and then once it's moved and dried, I mean, this stuff is pretty sticky, so it dries pretty quick. You just can't take it up. So this piece here, we're going to put, which is going to be on the front of the card. We'll put it here on this panel. And again, we're going to center it. Let's move it this way a little. Okay. So sometimes you have to kind of fiddle with it a little bit, so to get it exactly the way that you want it. All right, so now we're going to take these pieces and we're going to color them. And I believe I've got some more pieces over here. I saw them, they fell out of the bag. Okay, maybe not. That was for another card, I think. Set those aside. All right, so let me get the dies for these. And the Daffodil dies. And I'm going to try to cut the paper, cut the cardstock with these dies right here, and hopefully it doesn't move my table enough that it causes the camera to move. So let me get these pieces back out here. All right, for this particular card, we're going to need one small piece of Very Vanilla. This will be the inside of the flower. We will need this piece. This is the petals. This also goes on with the petals like this. And then this piece is going to be the small bud that is not open. So, and you can see right here. Nope, not on there. Okay. So we're going to cut the paper, and this is called pumpkin pie. And I will just go ahead and cut everything now so that we don't have to go back and bring this stamp cut and emboss machine back in. This is the mini. It's the smaller one of the two, and it is good for anything that is basically about 3 1/4 inches wide. So all we're going to do is take one of these pieces, because the Very Vanilla that I cut here was cut with this, and so now we're going to do the pumpkin pie. And we're also going to cut this out, and then also this piece here, which is the part of the bud. And then you just want to put it, I'm gonna make sure I don't have that on the fold there, because I want these to be nice and flat. Actually, I can move this over here. So however you want to arrange it, just put it on there, and then you're going to put the top plate on. And when it comes to putting this through the machine, you want to line these up and then step this back just a little bit. You don't want all of them completely even, because this helps you get a good start to go through the emboss machine. And sometimes it doesn't want to go through if everything is stacked on top of it. So I think I'm going to move this a little bit, and this one here. Okay. And then we just gently push it through the machine. Hopefully it's not shaking too much. And again, please like and share. If you share my video, please let me know so that I can give you credit for sharing it. It's going to give you an extra entry for these cards at the end. It's easy to lose these things. Okay, so next we're going to get out some mint macaron, and we're going to cut our leaves. So, excuse me for just a moment. We'll set these pieces aside. So after you put this through the emboss machine, the insides of the flowers should fall out pretty easily. If it's a really detailed die, then you may have to kind of poke some of it out, but these are falling out real easy this way. And that's good. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is I just realized something. I think I need to cut this out of the Very Vanilla, and no, this would be out of the Pumpkin Pie. This would be out of the Very Vanilla, because this is going to layer on top like that. So I'm just going to move this aside, and we'll go ahead and cut this. Run this through. So I'm real excited about this new catalog. I can't wait to show everybody because it is gorgeous. And like I said, if you want to order from the catalog now, we've got a long pre-order list that you can order if you want to join us. Stamp it up. It's real easy. There's no obligation. It's just a really fun way to spend some time crafting and spend time with your friends and stuff. So, oops, excuse me a moment. And it's a great community. It's a really good community. And I've made lots of friends, and I look forward to making more friends. I enjoy getting together and stamping and cutting and punching and making cards and all that fun stuff. It's just it's a good community. It's a good way to connect with people, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, so let's see here. Those are going to go together, and set that there. Now, one other thing I noticed too is that I will need to cut another a circle out of the Very Vanilla, but we'll do that later. So right now we're going to go ahead and use the mint macaron, and we're just gonna put the stem through. This one's for the bud, and then we've got a couple of leaves, long stems here. I'll make sure that that is on the cardstock. If it doesn't stay on the cardstock for you, go ahead and use like a post-it note, or use a some washi tape, something like that, to kind of hold it in place. Okay. So easy to do. Cut some out. Years ago, we used punches. We didn't really use dies that often, but we would Where'd the last one go? Do you see it? Oh, it's inside the die. We'd have to fussy cut around this stuff, everything. I don't mind fussy cutting now. I didn't like it as much before. It's not that I really look forward to it, but it doesn't, it's not as, it's more fun now just because I don't have to do it that often, and it can be very relaxing as well. So we'll do just a couple more of these. And I'm not too worried about the end down here because it's going to be cut off once we get ready to put the card together. So it's not important enough for me to move this over, although it might be up too far. Let's just take a look at that again, make sure that it's the way that we want it. Okay, now we're ready. Nope. Come on, little fella, get in there. Just wants to pop out. Okay. See if we have this staggered enough to go through. See, you can see what happens if you don't have it stacked properly. It doesn't want to go through. It just will kind of spin there. So I think I need to pull this back a little bit further. It's the bottom plate is a little bit bowed, and for some reason I'm having trouble with it. So let's put it over this way and see if that helps. And sometimes you just have to work with it a little bit. All right, let's keep our fingers crossed. There we go. We'll set that there. Now, is there anything else I need? I will need to punch something. I'll need to punch for the greeting. But as far as cutting anything else out right now, I think we're done. So I'm going to set this aside. Okay. So now we can start assembling our flower. Now, before we actually start putting this all together, I would like to do some shading on these. I want to put a little bit of yellow shading on it. They are daffodils after all, right? And let me get out my sponges. So these are sponge daubers. This is what we use. This is one of the things that we can use to add some color to our cards, to our cardstock. So I'm going to use the Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to pull it out. Okay. And again, thank you so much for watching my video. It really means a lot to me. I'm getting ready to retire from my job, so having a way to make some income is important. Okay. So with this, I'm going to get a piece of scratch paper. So I'm just going to tap this a couple of times on the Daffodil Delight, and then I'm going to tap it off over here because I don't want it to be real dark. I just want it to be very, very light. So I'll just tap it around here like this. See there? Can you see that? little bit of yellow right there. So we'll do that on all of these petals. They're not really petals, they're more like, I mean, this is part of the flower, right? But they look like petals. So, okay, let's set that one aside. And now for this one, we're gonna just do a little bit of it. Hold on a second. You can't really tell that there's a right or wrong side for the start of the cardstock when you first look at it, but when you've put it through the emboss machine, it does flatten the back side, and sometimes it'll make it a little rougher or put a little wrinkle in it. Not really a wrinkle, but it can be a little bit rougher on that side. So you just want to make sure that you got the right side up. Okay, so there we go, just a little bit. And then the same with this one, which I'm not really gonna do too much coloring on this because it's just the bud. Okay. And I'll just color a little bit on here just to add a little bit of color to it. Okay, there we go. So while we're working on this, I just wanted to point out that this is my April host code. So if you purchase anything from me in the month of April, you want to use this host code because that is how I keep track of the sales. And then once you earn tokens, and once you earn, I think it's 20 or 25 tokens, then you get a $50 shopping spree on me. Okay, now I think we're ready to assemble. So I'll take this piece and I'm going to add a little bit of glue to it. For me, this piece is too small to use the Stampin' Seal on because it's wider. So I'm just going to put enough on here to make it stick. That's about all you need, is enough to make it stick. Okay. Grab these reverse tweezers and then we'll place this on here. And when you got where you want it, just go ahead and let go of it and press it together like that. Okay. Now this one, I didn't put this on my initial card, so this looks different. Maybe it goes this way. Yeah, okay. So we'll put some glue on it. And it doesn't take a lot. You don't need to add a lot of glue to it. If you can see it, then that's enough. So hold my finger there to release the reverse tweezers, and then I will push it in place. It looks like it's just a little bit off right here. I don't know if the glue has dried enough. I may not be able to. Yeah, I moved it just slightly. Okay. All right, so we've got that piece, and let's go on to this piece. There is a right and wrong way to put this on. You can kind of tell by the this particular spot right here that comes out further than the rest of them, and that's how that lines up, just like that. Okay, so let's put some glue on there. I'm not too concerned about getting it out on the tip so much. As long as I can stick it to the card, it doesn't have to be glued down every single piece of it. We're just going to line this up on here like that. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? I couldn't decide what color I wanted to use, but I think that the pumpkin pie turned out really nice with it. I like the way it looks. I could have gone with the Daffodil Delight, which is a deeper yellow. And there's actually lots of options. Sometimes it doesn't have to be conventional. It can just be, you know, be artistic. Do what you like. Don't worry about trying to make it look like a real flower. I mean, you can just do whatever you want. Now I'm having trouble with this. Come on, move over. Okay. It's a little bit over, too far here, I think. This stem is going to come up and cover that part, so I'm not too concerned. All right, so let's start putting everything together. Now that we've got that layered, I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to use some mini ones right now to put the petals together and the flowers together. So I want this one, well, we need to put this on first. And I don't really know if there's a right or wrong way to put that piece on there. Let's see here if I've got any. Okay. Nope, it looks like it just kind of goes together whichever way you want it to go. It doesn't specify if it goes through these two or this way or what have you. So we'll just go ahead and put it right there. And I'm going to use glue for this part. Now there's a little bit of glue right there, you can see that, but my flower is going to cover it up. And we'll put this I don't know for sure which way to put this. Is there a right or wrong way? I don't know. Let's see. Look at my pictures. Nope. It doesn't look like there's a right or wrong way. So I'm going to spin this around a little bit. Put it. I feel like over here would be the best spot. So I'm going to take one of these mini dimensionals and get my take your pick tool, and I'll put that right here. And then we'll just set that down like this. Okay. And I think I'll put another mini dimensional over here as well so that it lays even. squeeze that in there like that. Just don't want anything to show on the front. Okay. I'm going to use my take your pick tool and just remove this piece here. Yeah, Teresa, go right ahead. Take that off. Oh, come on. It's hard for me to get my fat fingers in there. You can use these reverse tweezers. Grab it. There we go. Got it. Got that little rascal. All right. Position that like this. I would like to have it a little further over. Once you use dimensionals, it's kind of hard to get them to move. So the best way, if you really wanted to move it, you want to twist this off to break down the glue, and then you can pop it off of there. All right, so we are going to put this on here. Now, when we put it on our card, it doesn't have to stay like within these boundaries. It can come off just a little bit. However it ends up being is fine, because it's not going to be outside the edges of the card. And then we just start gluing these down. And I'm not going to glue all the way down to the bottom, because I am going to cut some of this off on the edge, on the end. I just realized that I used a different color cardstock. I think I must have used got a little glue on there. I must have used what color was that? It's not Old Olive. Soft Succulent, perhaps? No, it looks darker than that. Well, I'll have to figure it out. I'm surprised I didn't have it written down in my notes. Nope, I don't see it. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. So next we're going to lay another leaf down, or another stem, or whatever you want to call it. Kind of lay that there. Now remember, if you comment on my video and or share, you can do both. If you comment, you get an entry into my to win these cards. Or if you share it, then you need to tell me that you share it, because I won't know that. It doesn't tell me who shares it. It tells me it is shared, but not who shares it. So I want to make sure that you get credit for that, because I want to put your name in the drawing. So you have a couple of weeks to comment and share. I'm not going to choose a winner right away. Okay. And we'll stick another one here. I love doing this technique. It's fun, and people really like it. Now, do I need more or is that enough? I had salad for dinner and I've got it all over myself. Okay, so we're gonna put this up here. Maybe come back a little. There we go. We're going to use a mini dimensional to put this on the front. Okay, 2 mini dimensionals. You can see right here that I didn't get it lined up perfectly, but that's okay. No one's ever going to know, and it's going to look just fine. I have fat fingers and no fingernails. Okay. We want to make sure we put this on the underside. Maybe a little glue would help. Okay. All right. And now we'll put this on as well. We'll put that over here on this side. And I'm going to use larger dimensionals for that. Make sure I get it on the card. Yeah, I don't think I have to worry about that not being on the card. Just wanted to measure it though and make sure that it was where I needed it to be. Just peel the backs off of these. And add it to the card. Like that. See there? All right, so I'm gonna cut off the bottom of this one because the rest of them are fine. And then I'm gonna use some crumb cake twine, and I'm going to make a double bow and put that on the front. I'm going to make the bow and then I will add the greeting, and then I'll go back and I'll add the bow after I know exactly where I want it to be. Okay, so with the twine, one of the tricks that you have is that it's wrapped around this so it gets kind of curly, and it could be hard to work with, but just take your time. Generally I need a lot more twine or ribbon than most people because, like I said, my fingers are fat. So we'll give this a try, and if it doesn't work, then we will get a longer piece. So once you get it to go through, then you have to stop pulling so that you can adjust it. Otherwise you'll just pull the tails right through. And you don't want to do that. So you can make it smaller, adjust it, keep just pull it apart, it makes it tighter, and then you can make it smaller again. So I'm going to make this side a little smaller, and this side I want a little bigger. So I'll pull this out. Come on. Yeah, and you just have to fiddle with it a little bit. Does that look more even? Let's see which way these tails are going to go. No, that one still looks too small to me. That one's, it's getting better. Okay, maybe I'll shorten this side a little just to make it more even. Okay, perfect. All right, so we've got that. Now we want to go ahead and stamp our greeting. Now, like I said earlier, I made these to be Mother's Day cards because Mother's Day is this, is it this weekend? No, it's the 8th. It's a week. Right? Yeah. So we've got another week. Perfect. All right, so I need some vanilla cardstock. And let's see, what did I use? I used the Memento black ink. I could have used pumpkin pie, but I'm going to use the black ink. Now, I need to get my double oval punch because I want to make sure that I am, yeah, it's tricky. If your cardstock is smaller, it can be a little harder to get it right where you need it so that you can punch it out. So I'm going to turn it this way so that I can punch it and not have to worry about not having enough room. So there we go. That didn't turn out too bad. This Memento black ink, I really like the ink to be really dark black. Sometimes it looks kind of gray. So sometimes I use my Stamp-A-Ratus to do that, just to, so I can stamp it multiple times to get it as deep as I want. Okay, so this is Simply Chamois, and this is the Simple Chamois. This is the ordering number, and then this is a standard case. And this is, so I cut mine in half, and this chamois will clean your stamps over and over and over and over. And even though it looks bad, it's not. Once you've used it, like this evening before I started this, I rinsed it out. I just rinse it out and squeeze it, rinse it out and squeeze it, rinse it out and squeeze it. And then once that water starts running clear, then you know that it's clean. And then this case, we keep it in because it's not airtight. You don't want it airtight because then it could mold in there. So you want a little bit of air. So these are not airtight cases, so they're perfect for the job. All right, the other, what are we doing next? We need to do, I need another piece of mint macaron. Let's see here. This is quite a large piece. This is smaller. Usually I have several pieces that are smaller. Let's take a look at this. Nope, that's my very vanilla. All right, so we're going to use the punch. We're going to cut out this scalloped oval here. You just put it in the punch and then turn it over and punch it out. Easy. And then this one, we need to line it up. So it's not allowing me to put it down as far as I need it. So I will have to cut a little bit off the bottom. Like that. Try this again. Okay. So you just want to center your words in your punch and make sure that it's up and down properly. Sometimes when they use italics or something, it's hard to see, it's hard to know which way is straight. So for this one, I went by the I went by the happy and the day. And there we go. Now, if you order this from me, I'm going to punch those out for you. You don't need to worry about doing that. You'll get everything ready to assemble. The only thing that you'll have to cut will be, let's see, you'll need the dies and you'll need the stamp set. But if you purchase that from me, then you will get this, this kit. So let's put this down. And I've never done the kits in the mail before, so this is new to me. And I've been trying to figure out how best to do it. Okay, so this is going to go here. And I really wish that I had used the other cardstock. I think I would have liked it better. But with that said, I'm going to give you the better of the two. So you're probably going to get this card if I draw your name. Now, let's cut off a little bit of this. So I use up all of the edges of my dimensionals. There's no point in wasting it, right? I might have cut that too long. Let's set it sideways. Okay. And then we'll pull the backing off. And now we want to make this straight. So we'll put it about here. Okay. And now we will attach the ribbon, well, the twine. This is twine. So a friend of mine taught me this. You put a piece of ribbon around here and you can move it to expose more of the dots, but it keeps it from unwinding all the way. So when you're using these mini glue dots for twine, this glue dot is still larger than what you really need. So the best way to adhere it then is just to kind of lift up the edge of it like this and roll it a little. And that's perfect. Yep. And sometimes it will stick like that. And then you want to put your twine down on it like this. Nope, it didn't come off with it. There we go. And then put it down on your stems like that. All right, so let's go ahead and do the rest of it. I'm going to put this on the inside. So once this is put together, the card will open like this. So I want to put this on the inside like that. But first I want to stamp on it. So I'm going to take this stamp and I'm going to use the Memento Black Tuxedo Black ink. And because I want to color this after I stamp it. So you just tap, 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 tap on there. And I'm going to get a piece of scratch paper. I like to keep my grid paper as clean as possible. It doesn't stay that way very long, but I just want to make sure that I don't have a complete mess right here. It's too hard to follow what I'm doing when there's lots of stuff laying around. All right, so I'm going to just stamp this. I want the flower on, but not necessarily all the leaves, because I want to leave space up here for any greeting that I want to put on there. Now, I won't put one on this one. Generally, my kids will come and they'll get my cards and stuff, and they prefer not have anything written on them. And that works for me. And I didn't want to write anything on the cards that I'm giving away, because you probably have something you'd like to say on the inside, not necessarily something that comes with the set or comes with another set. With that being said, I wanted to say that Stampin' Up! Has a lot, and I mean a lot of stamp sets that are just, that are for greetings. For instance, I can probably pull, here's the one. This one's In Your Words, and it's retired. It's going to retire, but for these, I don't get rid of these because I use them all the time. I don't demonstrate them. If I have customers and I demonstrate this, then they want it, they can't get it. So I don't demonstrate it. I'll use it for personal cards. And then there's lots of them actually. Here's another one, Lighthearted Lines. This one is still, we can still get this one. To the person who still got it but might not remember where they put it, that's me. That's been me lately. So anyway, they've got a lot of really cool fonts and very pretty sayings and so forth. So, and there's lots of stamp sets like that. All right, so let's go ahead and color our flower. So for this one, I'm going to use my Stampin' Blends. This says Daffodil Delight Light, and this one, nope, this one's the light and this one's the dark. And it says so right here. And then this one is Old Olive. So I'm going to use the Old Olive on the inside. I could use the other, but I like the contrast between the Old Olive and the yellow. And I didn't realize it when I started this card tonight that I used Old Olive before. Now I color a little differently. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. Okay. So I'm going to, I color a little differently. I like to color, so for me, when I write sideways. And I can't write when my paper's up and down. So that's pretty much how I color as well. Now there's many different ways to use your blends. There's lots of different ways, and how you blend your colors together is very individual. Some people, I have seen their cards are so beautiful that they look like a picture instead of painted or instead of colored like that. So sometimes I just take a little bit of the darker color and just go along the outside edge like that. Sometimes I will color it in with the light, and then I will go back and put the dark on and then go back and put light over it again just to kind of blend it all together. So like I say, there's lots of different ways to do it. You just play with it for a while until you get it. So, and usually when I'm designing my cards, I make 3 or 4 different types, different designs, I use different cardstock because I'm looking for a particular look. And okay. I use this. All right. And then I like to go along this edge, this little ruffled edge right here. I like to go along that with the darker Daffodil Delight. I love daffodils. They're so dainty and so pretty. I've got several of them in the front of the house. I love it when they bloom. They just don't last very long. See? All right, so the last piece is finish coloring these stems and leaves. Uh-oh, I got a little bit out of lines. Almost done with this card. Okay. I think that looks good. Do you like it? Let me know what you think. Be sure to share and let me know that you shared, and be sure to like. And please comment. I really appreciate your comments as well. All right, so now we're going to put this in here. Just stick this down. Center it here as best as I can. And sometimes I think I have it centered. Well, I was telling you this earlier, I guess, and I try to center it so that everything is the same here, and then I'm assuming it's going to be the same at the top, but it's not always that way. But that's okay. It's homemade. All right. So here we want to add this to the bottom here and in the center as much as possible. Let's put this glue on here. Just don't spread it too far. And let's see. I kind of try to line it up on my grid paper so that I can tell about where the center is. So that's about the center where that number 8 is. And we'll go to either side of the 7 and the 9. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. And now for this part, I'm trying to remember, yeah, we just close it up and then fold this over. And then glue it here. Like that. All right, so we're just going to let that sit for a moment. Doesn't take long to dry, but we'll let it sit there for a minute. And let's get out the embellishments that go on the front. So we've got some champagne rhinestone basic jewels and these brushed black brass butterflies. And I think you can get these still, yeah, this is in the old catalog, the one that's getting ready to retire, but it's also going to be in the new catalog because I've already seen them. So I know. And one of the things I like to do is just cut the side of my package so that look at that little guy, he's just stuck in there. So that I don't have to mess with taking it out of the top and all the sticky stuff and everything. Look what I did. I adhered this and I didn't put it on the, oh my brother, my goodness. Okay. So what did I do with that other piece, I wonder? Whoops, get back here. I mean, it's still okay. It's not the one you're going to get, though. If I draw your name, you're going to get the other one. Because it's going to be much better. Much more contrast. All right, so that's that for those. And then we'll put one of these small butterflies on there. Use my take your pick tool, and it makes it easier to stick these, pick them up and stick them back down. Let's put this guy over here. Here we go. Okay, there we have it. So these are the two, and definitely I like this one better just because it's got this extra piece here behind it, and guess I wasn't paying enough attention. So anyway, this will fit inside of the regular envelopes. All right, So we've got that one done. Finished. Where am I going to put it? I'm going to grab a drink. My husband made me a salad for dinner. I ate about half of it. Looking for my other piece of cellophane so I can put the cards in it. There we go. All right, now let's go on to our next card, which is, these cards are quicker, they're easier, so they should not take very long. All right, so we've got this piece here. This is 11 by 5 1/4. And this is the card that we're making, and you can see how I folded this one. It's like this, so it stands up. It's not a landscape card, but it kind of, when you cut it and then fold it, it kind of looks like it's going to be a landscape, but it's not. I mean, you could do a landscape. You certainly could open the card like that, so either way. Okay, so we're going to use, this is Daffodil Delight. I already gave you the dimensions on that. And this is a piece of, just a scrap piece of Daffodil Delight. And then we've got, this one is the white. It's 3.5, no, it's 2.5 by 4. So let me see what that's for. 2.5 by 4. This here, this is our paper that we're going to use. This one, let's see here. I did not layer it on there, so I'm not sure exactly. Oh, I know what it's for. It's for the die cutting. You need to die cut this one. All right. So, like I said, this is easy. So we're going to put the Blackberry Bliss. This Blackberry Bliss is 5 1/4 by 4. And it's going to go right here on the front. I think that it might be a little too long. So when I was doing these, I thought, well, I don't have to, maybe I didn't score this in the right spot. I didn't. Look at that. Let's cut that again. Daffodil Delight. And so we want it 11 by 4 1/4. Not quite there, was it? All right. And then we're going to score this at 5 1/2. Like this. And now it should fold perfect, and it does. Yay! Well, that's why I thought that the Blackberry Bliss was too big. It wasn't. It was just that the card was too small. So we're going to center this on here. I'm glad I looked at that because I was about to put it down without checking the size and make sure that it was scored in the right spot. See how I can move that around just a little bit? You can only move it a little bit though. I've had to take it completely apart before, so. And we'll put this down. This designer series paper is, what package is this from? I think it's from the new Hostess pack. This has got 48, yeah, it's got 48 sheets in it. Nothing like getting sidetracked. But you see, isn't that pretty? So there's like there's 4 of each one of these designs. And then there's this one, that's the back and that's the front. And front and the back. I don't know which one's actually front and which one's back, so I don't think it matters. This is the back side of the one with the bicycles. This one, it's this design and then these spots. Here, this looks like a tile, and then these blue spots, it looks like it's, I don't want to say pool party. Also, while we're doing this, when you, oh, it is pool party. So when in the catalog and then also on the back of your designer series paper, it will list the colors that are in the paper so that you know what it coordinates with. So this paper has Blackberry Bliss, Daffodil Delight, Mint Macaron, Old Olive, Petal Pink, and Pool Party. And there's this one. And this one. Here's this. That's that tile design again. I like that. So like I was saying, I mean, there's so many different papers you can use. But yeah. And if you purchase this group, well, if you make a purchase of $25 or more, then you're going to get the what you need to create these cards. So, all right, next is this piece. I'm going to just put these away so that I don't lose anything. I always label my dies and stuff. So I always have like what the die is, what the order number is, how many dies there are. There's 24 in this one, which one it coordinates with, so that I can keep it all together. All right. We're going to use, let's see which one. It is the contour dies. I use the largest scallop die. Contour. Okay, the contour dies. And I used the largest scallop. I didn't use this one. I used this one. And we can put that through the mini stamp cut and emboss machine as well. Pull that back in here. I need a new plate. I got a new one for the top, but but I need to get a new one for the bottom. Well, I actually have one. I just haven't gotten it out. It's a little tough, but then it behaves. Okay, so there's our piece right there. I'm going to discard this part and I'll save that. You never know when I might need it. Put this back, put that over there, and this contour, the scallop contour dies coordinates with the color and contour stamp set, which is also one of my favorites. Okay. All right, so now we're going to stamp. We're going to stamp a flower on there. And I'm going to use the Stamp-a-ratus because it's easier for me to, like I said before, I want to make sure that the ink is dark. I don't want it to be uneven. So I love this little thing here. This is the Stamp-a-ratus, and it makes stamping really easy, and it's easy to line up your greetings and everything. So I should demonstrate this for you. Move this over a little bit. So if you put your stamp case underneath here, it'll even it out for you. Now I'm going to show you a little trick that I do. It doesn't have to be within these dots, but I like it that way. I mean, there's really not a wrong or right way. So what I do is I've got a piece of, I don't know, what do you call this? It's like a vinyl or plastic. Anyway, that you could probably use window sheets to do this as well. But I like to take a lighter color of ink, like this gray granite, ink up my stamp, and then put it down like this. And I want to see where that's going to land, how that's going to line up. So that's fine, but it's not quite the way I want it, so I'm going to move it a little bit. So I just clean this off, and I clean this off. Don't really have to clean this off, but it's otherwise it can just get messy. Now for this, I don't want it quite as off center like this. I don't want it like that. I do want to kind of turn it a little bit like that. So let's try this again. This is a great way to determine where your greetings or where your stamp is going to end up. So that's pretty good, but it doesn't look like it's over as far as I want it. All right, so I'm going to put this more this way. It's still off center, but it's not all the way over to the corner like it's been. Ink this up. It's a little too high. Now I could either push my cardstock up or I can bring this down a little bit. I'm not even going to clean this. I'll be able to tell. Yeah, so it comes right up to there, so that's perfect. That's where I want it. Down here I'm going to have the greeting, so I'm not worried about that part either. Even though it's a little bit off right there, it's going to be all right. Now I can move my plastic, and I can close this up and put this away. All right, so let's just scoot that over a little bit. When you're using the Stamp-a-ratus, you want to be careful too, because these magnets are so strong that if you get them next to each other, they'll just like come together. And that's what happened with this one. It broke because it's, I mean, it really come together hard. They're just very, very strong. So just want to be aware of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and ink this up with the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm going to ink this up real good. This is a water-based ink, and it's the nice thing about it is that I can use my Stampin' Blends or anything, or yeah, my Stampin' Blends to color this in, and it's not going to smear. Okay, so there's that. It doesn't look too bad. I could get a little darker over here, but again, this is why I like to use the Stamp-a-ratus when I'm using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. You do want to be careful though that you don't, I say on a lot, don't I? You want to be careful that you don't have ink that it doesn't get around the outside edge like this, because if I was to push this down on my paper hard enough, then I would end up with that shadow, and that's what I don't want. And here's a little bit more. So when I ink this up, I try to ink it up so that it's flat. It's just easier to deal with this now than to have to restamp everything. Okay, I think that looks good. All right, and then when I close it, I don't push down on it hard. So I'll just tap it so that I'm not getting any of the ink off of the edge. If I missed any of it, it won't transfer over to the paper. See there? That is a nice image. I like it. All right, so we want to clean off the stamp, and we'll remove the card like this, set it aside, and now I will put this guy back in the stamp case. Okay. All right, so now we're going to assemble. So for my card, here's a reminder of what it looks like. Well, I need to color it first, actually. I like to have it just a little bit off center like that. It drives some people nuts, but I like it sometimes. Not always, sometimes. Okay, so we're going to get this out. And let's see let me see if I wrote down what color Stampin' Blends I used. Light and dark daffodil and light old olive. So we're good to go right here. Let's start with this. So there's a fine tip and then there's the brush tip. And I use both. It depends on how precise I want to be. So you can't, I mean, you can use the brush end, but it will, it's easier to get outside of the lines. And also when I use the Stampin' Blends, I try not to get like right on the line. I try to stay like just inside of it. Maybe I should have colored the daffodil first because it's a lighter color. A lot of people do it that way. That way, when you come back with the darker color, it'll cover up any mistakes. I want to look at the first one that I made, make sure that I knew how big the bud was. I don't want to. Yeah, like making sure that I stop at the right spot. So here's this piece here, which we added to the other card when we put it together. And get the stem here. So again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate your comments, your shares, your likes, everything. And a couple weeks later from now, I will draw a name, one name, and they will get all 4 of the cards, and you will get all 4 of the best ones. So make sure that you go out to my blog. It's teresatucker.net. Teresa with an A, T-H-E-R-E-S-A. And go out and look at my events. I don't remember exactly where that link is on my blog, and I was going to redesign that this weekend, so... But go check it out. You can go out to my store too, and you can definitely reach that from my blog. It's up at the top. It'll say shop now, and when you click on that, it'll take you to my store, but it'll also take you to my latest projects. There'll also be a whoops, what did I do this in light? There'll also be a calendar of events, so you can check all that out, see when I'm going to be live. I'm just now putting them all together. I work a full-time job besides Stampin' Up. I think I mentioned earlier that I work at the university. And so I don't have all the free time in the world. But when I start designing cards, it can take a while. Depends on how much I like it or don't like it when I finish. All right, so here's the bud. Now we're just gonna fill this in like that. One of the cards I made, I didn't even realize this was the bud. I just thought it was another stem, so I just colored it green. Be careful too when you use your Stampin' Blends, because if you use it with the tip down, it does make the nub just a little softer, and it's a lot easier to just get out of the lines when it gets like that. And sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it, but you should, when you're using your Stampin' Blends, you do kind of want to use it on the side of it. See, I just can't get myself to turn my wrist or something. I don't know. I've always had it cockeyed whenever I write or paint or color. It's easier for me to see it. Okay, it looks like I got everything. I do want to go, nope, I want to do this. Now it looks like I got it all. I do want to go back and use the dark Daffodil Delight and just go along this ruffled edge here. You can see how I did it in this one as well. I just think it adds something to it. So it's not as bland. Just adds more. Okay. And then we'll do this one too. Just kind of followed along. It's not hard. Okay, there we are. What do you think about that? Pretty awesome, isn't it? Okay, so I did something just a little bit different with this greeting. So I used, let's see, I think I need a bigger piece than that. This one here should work. So what I do when I'm getting ready to stamp a greeting and punch it out or die cut it out, I always stamp my sentiment or stamp my greeting first, because that's the part that it's easier to line it up in the punch than it is for me to punch it and then try to line it up on the cardstock. So let me get my Blackberry Bliss. And like I said, all of these say Happy Mother's Day. I've got a daughter-in-law and a daughter and a daughter-in-law who are both moms. So they're going to get one of the cards. And then just hold that for a second and then straight up. You don't want to rock it. That's when you get the halo. Get my simple chamois, clean off my stamp, set it aside. Okay, all right. So what I did is I punched this out, and then I also punched the cloud out again using the Daffodil Delight. That one's too small. And I'll show you how I made this. It's a little different. Don't ask me why I used the cloud. I don't know. I just wanted to do something different with it. So that's why. Now I'm going to punch it out with the yellow. Okay. So now, I got some ink on my finger, just one second. Makes me nervous. Don't want to get it on my white cardstock. Okay, so now what I did was I cut this in half because I wanted a little bit of a edge around it. So I cut it in half. Like that. And then I put this on here just like that, just so that a little bit of it was peeking out. And since the two clouds are the same size, of course I couldn't make it work all the way around. Slide it a little bit. Okay. And now for the bottom part. What time is it? It's 8:11. I need to speed this up a little bit. I said this was going to be an hour and a half long. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here. It means a lot. Stop by my store, get your supplies, get your stamp sets, check out the last chance list. That's on my blog as well, teresatucker.net, and click on it and it will take you directly to everything that is still available. All right, so this is going to go on here, but first let's put it down on here. I'm going to offset this just a little bit. And then I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. These are red rubber scissors. If you've not been with Stampin' Up! Or not been familiar with us for very long, you won't remember that back in the day we had to cut our own red rubber stamps. They'd come to us just in red rubber, and we'd have to cut the edges off all the way around. And you had to cut it at a slant, and it was quite an ordeal. We were so excited when they decided to cut them for us. It was so nice, because as careful as you try to be, you can't always get it just right. So these scissors are what I used for the rubber stamps, and they're also the ones that I use for any time I'm cutting anything that is sticky. Let's put this up here a little bit. Okay, so all we have to do now is add our gems. And you can basically put those wherever you want. Let's put this way, and I don't see my, here it is. I need to get another one. I've only got this one, and so when I can't find it, I panic. All right, so for this card, I put on one of these larger. It's not the largest, it's the medium size. So I'm gonna put that on there. And then I took 2 of the old olives and I put 2 here and 2 there to finish off this card. Let's see here. I used tiny ones. This one here, that's a darker one, and put a little lighter one above it. Come on, get on here, come on. There's other ways to get these off. Some people use the edge of their scissors. I'll show you what I mean. Some people use the edge of their scissors. Ooh, that one's just hanging. These are kind of flat, so it's a little harder to, ooh, you know what? That's not a tiny one. So let's try this one. Oops. Nothing ever works the same every time. Okay, and that is that card. What do you think? Pretty neat, huh? Easy peasy. All right, so let's put these in the bag and go on to our last card. The last card is pretty simple as well, so we're almost done. But if you purchase this kit, or if you decide you want to make the cards, so you'll have this video to refer to. Okay. So for this one, this is what the card looks like. So we have some die cutting to do. And we have 5.5 by 8.5 piece of old olive cardstock, which we are going to score in half. Let me just make sure how I have this opening. I think it opens sideways. Yeah. All right. So you're going to score it at 4 1/4. That's half of 8.5. So run that along the edge, or run that through the middle, and go ahead and burnish that. Now I had these out. I'm going to show you what my idea was with those and see what you think. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. You might not either. So, all right. So we're going to put this Blackberry Bliss on the front. Why do I turn it over like that? I mean, they're the same on both sides, but I do. You got to do silly stuff once in a while, right? Things like that that don't even make sense. Okay, there's that. Now again, this is from the new, this is called, I think it's called, yeah, it's called Design a Daydream. And that's a great big pack of Hostess paper. And you can get that by having a $300 party, or you could be your own hostess and order $300 worth of stuff, or you could, you can't get it in the, if you join, you can't get it as part of the 125. The Hostess products don't work that way. But if you were to join now while it's still during the pre-order period, then you could purchase it. But we pay full price for that, so we don't get a discount on it. Okay. Well, we don't pay full price. Everything that we purchase, we get, starting out, you get 20% off of everything. And then you also earn CSVs. And in the United States, that's the same as the dollar. So if you purchase a $10 something, then you're going to get 20% of that. So you're going to get $2 worth of CSVs. You get 2 CSVs. All right, so what are we doing here? We need this petal pink. And we're going to cut, let's see what size. Hey, I think that'll do both of them. Excuse me. All right, so move this around. Get it out of the way, get it out of the way. This one is for my Happy Mother's Day stamp, and this one is scrap, and I don't remember why. Oh, that's for my Mother's Day. This is for this piece. Okay. See, when it's been a while since I've designed it, I kind of forget. Okay. So what I can do is I can go ahead and cut this part out, but I won't, and this one too, but I won't be able to emboss this piece because the embossing folder is too big for this. So I'll have to slide back and emboss it and come back to see you. So first of all, let's get these dies. These are the stitched rectangle dies. Some of my very favorite. And so let's see here. I think it was this one and this one. Not that one. I think it was these two. these dies, they bounce. And I swear, I think I know where it fell, but then I can't find it, and I usually end up having to move my chair, move everything around, look underneath stuff, get out the broom, things like that. Okay, so since I've been using this a few times, I just want to make sure that I'm using the right size. So, yeah. So the easiest way to do this, let me put this one back. The easiest way to do this is to tape your dies together. Now, let me grab my silicone craft sheet. And don't laugh, that's a piece of foam mat. Sometimes I use that instead of the instead of the dimensionals. Stampin' Dimensionals, mini Stampin' Dimensionals, whatever they are. All right, so I'm going to try to center this, and then I'm going to hold these together with some washi tape. Nice thing about the craft sheet is that it nothing sticks to it, so it just comes up real easily. All right, so hopefully this isn't too wide, and it is. I'm going to cut it down though, because I want to sit here and do this. All right, so we'll put that on here like that. Make sure that everything is staying where it needs to be. And we'll use the plate on top. Stack it just right. My paper's still a little too big, but it's gonna be fine. I hope you work out. Because that can be hard to turn. All right, so here's what we end up with. That one. That down. Let me think here for just a second, because we've got this piece. I think that is all we need. Yep. So that's how we created this, was using those two dies together. Cut out this window, which we don't need, so I'll set that aside. And then let's go ahead and stamp the greeting on here. And I used Blackberry Bliss again. I'm going to grab that. And thank you again for watching. I really appreciate you being here. It means a lot to me. Very nice. Very nice. All right, we're almost done. We're on our last card. Okay, so let's go ahead and, I think it was this die. Yes, it was. That's the die I used for this. And again, I want to make sure that I've got my happy and my day right where I want it, and that it's in the right direction and not cockeyed. So I kind of eyeball it to see how close I am to the H and the Y, and then the same thing down here. Make sure I'm about the same distance apart, and then also again on the sides. So I'm going to put this washi tape on here, since I've had such a heck of a time with this uneven plates. We're supposed to come out with a magnetic plate that the dies will stick to. So the die will, the magnetic plate is strong enough that it'll go, the die will attach to it even through the cardstock. So, oh, you know what? I'm not done. Okay, now the other thing that we're going to do is, this is a little tricky. I don't think it was this one I used. No, I used one of the larger ones. It was probably this. So what I want to do is kind of just center this on the petal pink paper, and then I want to shorten this, and the way to do that is very carefully. So you just want to adjust that like that, and then we're going to put this through here like this so that we can cut it just on this bottom edge. So we'll move this up a little ways like that, get it centered, and then I'm going to use washi tape and tape it down. The important part about this is getting it even, because if you don't get it straight, then it's going to be super noticeable. So let's just go ahead and tape this down for a second so it doesn't move. Now let's look at how straight this is. So I'm going to line it up with my grid paper right here just to see how straight it is. Make sure that it is straight. I'm going to set this back on here, look at it again, make sure that's the same, about the same amount all the way around, and then I will put another piece of washi tape on there and run this through, and cross your fingers. Cross your fingers, because let's see here, this part here is going to be the inside, which is this, and this part is going to cut it. So do I have it the way I want it? Hold on here a second, just let me take a look at this. Let me take a look at this. Take my tape off. There we go. All right, so maybe what I want is like this. That may be how I want it, like that. Okay, now I'm going to slide this down. I'm going to hold it together, slide this down like that, and grab this washi tape, put it on here. Now let's measure this and just make sure that it is straight. We can line the cardstock up with the grid line, and then we'll line this up with the grid line. I'm using it on, I'm looking at it on the inside. And now we're gonna set this back on here and see how close we are. We may have to move that up a little bit. Yeah, just a little. I guess it's just a little bit too much of an edge. So straighten the cardstock and then straighten this. This time I'm measuring it next to the outside line. That looks to be right. put our tape back on there. Take another look at it. I'm not sure. I don't think it's down far enough now. Line up our cardstock again, and then we will line this up. I'm lining it up with the inside, this line right here to the inside. All right, let's see here. Yeah, that might be about it. I think it might be. All right, let's go ahead and cut this. The other day when I was making this, I kept recutting it and recutting it. It's like, not quite right. Keep your fingers crossed that this does the way that I want it to. Is that right? Did we do it? Did we do it? Not too shabby, huh? Not too shabby. Okay, so we've got that. I'll have to move it around, of course, and get it exactly where we need it. Okay, so we got that. Good. Now, remember I told you that I need to roll my chair back and do the embossing on the big stamp cut and emboss machine. But let me show you what the folder looks like. So it's the brick and mortar, it's the 3D, and I want my did I do that? Did I do that? Look what I did. Okay, so this white, I need it to be 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. Now, guess what? When you use the cardstock that you were supposed to emboss, then you need to get another piece of cardstock. And I think I've got a lot of small pieces, but not one that's going to work. So what did I say? 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. 2 1/4. So see, here's what I was telling you before. I've got this butted up all the way against the edge of the trimmer. I've got it measured off here. Now I'm going to pull this towards me, because if I push it that way, I've had my cardstock shift just enough that it cuts it unevenly. So we don't want that. So that's why I cut it this way. Okay, so now we're going to go 3 1/2 this way. Like that. Okay. Alrighty. This room is large enough, but it's not organized yet, so I'm having to have everything just kind of really close here, and I don't have a lot of space right around this area. So, yep, I need it to adhere to the back side of this, just like that. Okay, so if you see here, my bricks are going this way, so that's the way I want these bricks to go. This is the front of the folder, and I try to line it up like this and then close this down. This right here tells me that I have the cardstock straight, and I want the bricks to go like this, so that's why I have it like this. This is the way it has to go in, with this edge first. It's not always possible. It depends on what you're embossing and how big it is and so forth. So, but this is the ideal way to put it through your stamp cut and emboss machine. So I'll be right back. I've got to make a little adjustment because this is a 3D embossed folder. I have to remove some of the plates and just use the base plate and plate number 4. That didn't seem right. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to show it to you. So this is the one right here that we use with the embossing folder. So we use the base plate, which is 1. That's this one here, and this one, which is number 4. So that's the way it's supposed to go in. The other embossing folders that are not 3D, you sandwich it differently. So let's put this through here. Didn't seem that hard to put through, so I wasn't sure. Okay, so there's our brick. Pretty neat. And so now we want to put it on here. Oh, come back here. Don't be blowing around. So the way we'll do this is we'll get out our silicone craft sheet and double check this and make sure I am gluing this to the side. See, you can see it looks a little different right there, and I don't know if you can see it that well on the camera, but this side is much smoother. So let's turn this over, and then we'll turn this over. But first we're going to put a little glue all along this edge. Trying to be careful not to get it too close to the edge. Okay, now we're going to lay this on here. Kind of line it up. It together, and I don't mind trimming off some of it, but I just want to trim it off of one side, not both, so I straighten that out. Okay, let's get out the snips, and we'll just trim this off along here. I must have cut my cardstock just a little larger. Okay. Okay. We got it. All right, so now what? We're going to put this on here, but first we need to stamp this flower and color it in. This time we're using the smaller flower, like that. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way. I'll bring back in my stamparatus. This time I don't have to be as careful because I'm going to die cut this out, so I'm just going to try to use as little real estate as I can. So that'll work right there. We will get the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. damp case underneath there. Go ahead and ink this up. Close it. Press. I've got some adhesive on there, it looks like. See, here's what I was talking about before. It kind of just looks gray. It doesn't really look black, and I like it to be much more defined than that. So we'll just ink this up again and checking it to make sure I don't have any shadowing. Push it down. And ta-da! Ta-da! Wipe this off. And put this one away. Oh, that's not where that goes. This goes over there. Okay, almost done. Almost done. Let's go ahead and color this. So here again, I use the light daffodil and the dark daffodil, the light. And I haven't put any gems or anything like that on there yet because I wanted to run something by you and see what you thought. All right, let's color this in. You've been on here 2 hours? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's a long time. I don't like the class or the... I don't like it to be this long, but... The nice thing is that when you watch this video, that you can speed it up and you can rewind it. Watch the pieces of the parts of it that you want and not everything. If you're not interested in all of the cards, then you can case the ones you like. Go ahead and copy my cards. I don't care. That's how you learn. I'm not creative at all. I've copied a lot. With Stampin' Up, we call that casing, which is copy and stamp everything. Now, I will give credit to whomever inspired me. I usually post that, and you want to make sure that you do that too, because you earn a lot more respect from your fellow demonstrators when you give them credit. See, that one, it was a little too thick because I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. Okay. That just adds the extra touch, doesn't it? All right, let's go ahead and get these leaves colored in. I'm going to use the skinny end. The nice thing about the brush end is that when you are trying to blend your colors together, it will blend it better. It makes it, it's not as, I don't know how to explain it. It just allows the ink to spread out maybe a little bit more so that it's not, you know, this way, using this tip, it's just a little harder. I don't mean harder to use, it's just a firmer tip. And usually you will use the firmer tip just to go along next to the lines and to do your detailing. This stamp here has a lot of the detail already in there, so I don't need to run along those lines, I can. I mean, let's see what it looks like. So I'll run this along here and along here. This one. Do you like that? It does look a little more distinctive, doesn't it? Okay. Where are my dies? I didn't think I put them back yet. Where are my dies? Did I not get them out? Let me take a look over here, see. Let's look back here. Nope, it's not that one. Nope, it's not that one. Labels. Where is it? Well, that's odd. Let's see. They couldn't have gone very far. I thought I had them out. Sorry about this. Let me look over here. That's just odd. That's odd. On the horizon, there's the waves. There are no dies in here. None whatsoever. No dies. No dies. No dies. Let me make sure I just didn't stick them in the front over here, knowing I was going to use them. Ta-da! Okay. Didn't realize I'd put them back. All right, so this is the die here that's going to cut this flower out. Now these do a really good job of cutting out. Stampin' Up! Has gotten a lot better with this. And so let's go ahead and just take that in place. I really need to put another board in here, because this isn't really big enough for all of these dies. Now, let's see if I can run this through here. Barely. 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 But it works. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not so much. Let's go ahead. Uh-oh. Lost my die. Let's go ahead and cut a little bit off of the edge, so we're sure. Save that scrap for a greeting or something. All right, so let's line this up again. Press that down, bring it back over here. Make sure once I've wiggled it around that it's gonna still, it's in its proper place. Looks good. Let's run this through here. Right. Sorry, I know it's noisy. So here's what I was talking about. See, it just, and those pieces fall out. So that's so pretty. You don't have to worry about just having white cardstock there. I mean, it doesn't get everything, but it gets it enough that it looks nice on your card. All right, I'll put this in here. Okay, put this up here. There we go. All right, so here we go. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, so let's go ahead and just put, what did I do here? See, I put it up on dimensionals. I might have used a foam sheet. I did. I used foam sheets and dimensionals. Go ahead and use the dimensionals though. I like the foam sheets. If I'm doing like this, I would probably use a foam sheet on that. I'll show you why. All right, so let's get out our rubber scissors and put this on here. That wasn't too smart. I put it like right over that hole. I didn't want it over that hole. So I don't want you to see it on the other side. And that'll fit there. It's easier if I just go ahead and use the dimensionals instead of trying to use the edges, but this works. I don't want to waste it. And then sometimes you have to just cut some of it off if it's too long and put it somewhere else so it fits there just fine. Okay, let's go ahead and peel the backs off of these. If you are a crafter and if you use Stampin' Dimensionals, then you know these end up all over your house. They do. They stick to your socks and everything. Okay. Here we go. We're going to put this on here. Right about like that. Center it. It's okay if it goes up over the top there. That's perfectly fine. I'll put this over here. How did I put that on? You know what? I'm surprised. I guess I did put it on dimensionals. It just didn't look like it was very dimensioned. It wasn't very dimensioned. So let's see. I might be able to make this whole piece work. I can. Okay. I say okay a lot, don't I? I know. Let's see if I have another sheet of dimensionals. Those are minis. I don't want that. These are dimensionals. It's a new sheet. Clean up my area. Such a small area, like I said earlier. It's better if I can keep it picked up around here. Ooh. Jumped right off of there. So don't forget to share, and if you share, let me know that you shared it, because it only says that it was shared. It doesn't say who shared it, and I want you to get credit if you share it. I need an audience. I haven't done this in a long time, so share it with your friends. Once I get it on YouTube, it'll get more attention. I do have a few subscribers on my YouTube channel. All right. Let's put it on here. The lines on this paper are not straight, so it's hard to tell when this is straight, but I think that's it. All right, just a little bit more to go. Put this on. And what side? It's this side. This is the right side. Oh, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Moving it around. Moving it around. I need to move it down this way. And if you wait too long, it's going to get too tacky and you won't be able to move it. I think that's where I'm bending it though. It's not perfect. I need to bring this down just a little. I think it'll be all right. I don't want to mess with it anymore and end up tearing it. I don't want to have to redo it either, so we'll let it stay like that. Okay, so this is going to go on here like that, and since it is going to layer on top of this, I don't want any dimensionals under there, but I do want some under here. So let's go ahead and do that. I just threw them in here a minute ago. There they are. Put one more right there. And then we're just going to put some glue on this end. And we'll set it on here like that. Okay, there you go. Now I've got this little ribbon that I've already made. I don't know if I can make one out of here or not. It might be too small. I usually need larger pieces of ribbon because of my fingers being so big, but let's see. But they're pretty simple to make as long as you don't twist your ribbon. Pull it tight, loosen it. See how that got twisted right there? It doesn't look as nice. Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't know. Get this back around here. Sometimes I may get too close to one end and then I don't have enough for a tail because I'm trying to be careful. This one's much better. See what I mean? It's a little bit bigger. Maybe not so much. And then you're just going to take your ribbon scissors, and that's what these are, ribbon scissors, and cut your tails. And I'll have to cut it shorter because it's lopsided. And that's all right. But that's how that's done. All right, so let's get this ribbon on here. Is it that one or this one? Which one is it? It's this one. Okay. So we're going to do like we did before, and we're just going to, actually this time I'm just going to pinch that glue dot together on the back of this. And then stick it down here in the corner. Now I'm going to show you something. I had this idea and I didn't know if it was going to work or not. But I've got everything I need to put on here, but I didn't know if I wanted to do that because I have these butterflies, and what I did was when I ran this through the stamp cut and emboss machine, I had what's it called, adhesive sheet on the back of it, and I ran it through that way. And I thought it would be pretty like that, but then it might be too big. I don't know, might be too big. Should we try it? And which one do you like? Do you like this one? Let's try it. That'll be fun. Or this one. I kind of like that one. All right, so this has got adhesive on the back, and so just very carefully you just have to peel that off. It's a thin layer. No fingernails, Miss Teresa, no fingernails. Okay, see, that comes off pretty easily. There we go. Now let's see if I can get it on here straight without getting my head inside of the camera. You know how you think you've almost got it, and then you realize, nope, maybe I need to move it a little bit more. And then you move it too much, and how's that? Do you like it? I do. I like it. All right, so I'm going to bend these wings up just a little bit. And I'm going to put some dimensionals down the center on the back. We can still add some of the gems. I think that'll be nice. There's one. Two. Sometimes you have to cut these in half. They're a little too big, but this one, it's going to be fine. It's going to be all right. Do you like that? I do. That's a little extra touch. That's kind of cool. All right, let's go ahead and add a couple of these, and then we'll be done. I'm going to put a big one down here. Let's put a big one up here. And we'll put another one. There we go. That's good. That's pretty. What do you think? I hope you like it. I really do hope you like it. I like it. I think it turned out well. That's pretty. I like it a lot, actually. So, once again, like, make a comment, share, anything like that. Your name will be entered into a drawing to receive all 4 cards. I'm going to give you the best of the best. So, I mean, that one's better because that one I forgot to put that layer in there. And is that it? 1, 2. Didn't we do another one? 1, 2. Yeah, there we go. 1, 2. There's 3 of them. There's 3 of them. Okay. There's 3 of them. So, there you are. And let me just make sure. Yeah, there's 3 of them. So there you have it. And I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me comments, suggestions, like it, share it, whatever. If you share it, please comment that you shared it so I get your name in the drawing. And we'll draw these in a couple of weeks, and then I will ship them out. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, this class, you can purchase it with a $25 order. I'll send all of this to you, everything cut, embossed, die cut, everything, all the dimensions and everything included. Plus, you'll have this video, and you'll also have a tutorial, a PDF tutorial that I'll send along with it as well. So, I think that's all for now, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.